this is all the practical things that I'm doing to prepare for labour. Hi lovelies and welcome, it's Funto here. So I am officially at the start of my third trimester, and for me this is prime time to start preparing for labour. I think it's so beneficial to start as early as possible because those last few weeks can come by quite quickly and there's lots of things to do for baby. So I've generally spent a lot of time decluttering the entire house and setting up different stations, drawers, cupboards with baby bits and dusting off all my old baby items and making sure they're in a good and usable state for baby. I went through pretty much every drawer, every wardrobe, every cupboard and just had a really good clean through and sift through anything I didn't need. I just wanted to have my home in a state where it was very easy to keep organised so I didn't feel too overwhelmed with cleaning and tidying when the baby arrives. Where there are gaps in things that I need, I've also decided to purchase things just to make sure I'm prepared for when the baby arrives. I've got a massive newborn essentials video, so do check that one out if you're interested to know some of the baby bits that I've been using. Familiarising ourselves with the hospital route. Now we are very familiar with it, but first time around we definitely made sure that we were familiar with all the different ways that we could get to the hospital and particularly familiar with the fastest route. This was one more for my husband than for me because he was designated driver. Putting petrol in the car. So I've been trying to make sure that the tank of the car is always at least half full at all times, just so that no matter where we find ourselves, we're never running on empty and we can get to the hospital. Setting up the car seat. This is definitely one to do a good few weeks before your due date. For me, it just gives me so much peace of mind knowing that if baby were to come at any moment, we've got a very safe and secure way of bringing them home. It's also good to set it up in advance if it's a new car seat or if you're not familiar with car seats. If it's your first little one, then you give yourself enough time to make sure that you're familiar with how to set up the car seat, how to use it, how to click it in place safely so that when the baby arrives, you don't have to worry about those technicalities. Thankfully, we're reusing our old car seat, so we're definitely familiar with it. It's just a case of making sure it's in place and ready to go along with our hospital bags so we're ready for baby. Booking all of my beauty treatments. So something that I did first time around and I'm really glad I did and kind of maybe underestimated how much I would enjoy it was booking my nails to be done, getting a wax and making sure that my hair and my eyebrows were done as well. Postpartum, this made me feel really good. I felt that bit more put together, having my eyebrows done, having my nails in a state where they were nice and tidy and having my hair in a style that was very simple and manageable and lasted me for weeks. I think it's one of those psychological things where beauty treatments can actually make you feel really good, especially postpartum when maybe you're low on sleep and you might be feeling a bit rough around the edges and the last thing that's coming to your mind is sorting out how you look. But having certain grooming things done in advance just made me feel that bit better. So I've booked myself in for my treatments and I've got them in good time before my due date so that I'm ready. Preparing my hospital bag and postpartum essentials. So I have a whole other video talking about everything that is in my hospital bag, and I've just taken the time to make sure that I've got everything on the list and that I'm comfortable with everything that I've packed, just to make sure that I have a positive experience and I feel comfortable when I do go to hospital. Similarly, I've also been stacking up on any of the postpartum bits and bobs that I'll need. Familiarising myself with a contractions counting app. So many of the pregnancy apps that I have a contractions counter actually within the app, which I find very helpful because it's on my phone and it's ready to go. If ever I start feeling contractions, I can record them straight away. I've also shown this to my husband and prepared him so that if I can't count the contractions, he's familiar with how the app works and he can also help me keep a record. This is something I also showed to my mum, who the first time around when I was in labour took over counting the contractions when it was all too intense for both me and my husband, who was completely with me and zoned out with me. She took over counting of contractions. So those are the key things that I'm doing to prepare myself for labour. If you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching, and give this a thumbs up if it was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any other tips and advice for how to prepare for labour as well. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of my journey, then do consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!